Today we're gonna honor a brand that's going to be leaving us in September. If you guys are not aware, Becca Cosmetics, which has been around, I believe, since about 2001 or 2002, is closing its doors in September of 2021. So I watched a video on the history of Becca recently, and I got inspired to pull out everything I own from Becca Cosmetics, show it to you guys, and do a bit of a get ready with me. Hi guys, today we are going to do a video dedicated to, everything's falling, Becca Cosmetics. I have been watching some videos about Becca ever since their announcement that they're going to be shutting down in September of 2021. There are many speculations as to whether in fact they're closing because, you know, COVID brought them fully down, or because Estee Lauder, which is their parent company, just has bigger and better plans and the company just wasn't doing as well as needed to compete with whatever else Estee Lauder owns. We will never know exactly what went down, nor do we know what the numbers really need to be in order for a company to stay on the roster of the big leagues, such as Estee Lauder. Estee Lauder themselves, I believe, has been struggling on and off. So, you know, there's going to be speculations. There's going to be a lot of what ifs, could haves, would haves. I don't want to get into any of that. I just want to honor the brand, tell you guys what I have, and use it. Do a get ready with me. I don't think I have, well, in fact, I know I don't have enough for a full face, but whatever I don't have, I'm going to supplement from my Project Pan.
I got inspired to do this video. Oh, hello.
I've had this video on my list to film ever since the brand did announce that they were closing. But what actually inspired me to go ahead and sit down and do this, even if it's 12:52 in the morning, is I was watching a two-part series that Elle S did. If you're not familiar with Elle, she is a Canadian YouTuber. She's been around for a while and she's got some really creative, amazing content. She's also done a no-buy for, I believe, 2 or 3 years. She does a really cool look. She does a lot of history of brands. She researches trademarks and talks about things that are possibly coming up in the beauty world. So I have enjoyed Elle's content, oh gosh, for years and years and years. And I stumbled across this two-part series that she did on Becca, and it caught my eye. And I was watching it earlier tonight, and I decided, you know what, it's been on my list, and if I keep putting it off, we're gonna be in October, Becca's gonna be no more, and there's that. So I figured, you know, we're just gonna do this. We're just gonna get right to it. I'm gonna quickly show you guys what I own from the brand as we go and do a full face. So let's do it in the order that I usually do makeup, and that is face first, eyes later. I know I keep meaning to reverse that, but for some reason it's just habit. It's how I prefer it. Let's start with primers. I have 3 Becca primers. I have this brand new one to me. It's the Becca Skin Love Brighten and Blur Primer. This came in a set with a mist that I used up in 2020. I love the mist. I'm curious about the primer, but we've got 2 others to choose from. We also have the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, which I really liked when it first came out, but I have to be honest, I feel like it really shows texture because it is a very glowy primer, and it's no longer my favorite. I have used up an entire full size of this, and I just have this one mini left. And then my favorite Becca primer is their First Light, is that what it's called? Yeah, First Light Priming Filter. If I didn't have a ton of primers, this would be maybe a product I would buy a backup of before Becca shuts down, but I have so many primers and there's always new things coming out, so I'm really trying to resist buying anything just for the sake of buying backups because the brand is leaving. I'm really trying to think of it from the perspective of, if the brand was not leaving, what would continue to catch my eye. There are a couple of Becca products that have always been on my wish list, so maybe I will pick up those before the brand closes. This is something, unless I see it on a super sale or something like that, I'm just going to stick to what I have. But I think this is the one I want to use. While I'm curious about this one, I kind of want to give the Star products in my collection their moment to shine today, since we are honoring the brand. Oh, I didn't realize this one was brand new. I thought I had an open one. I just realized I also have a full size of this, so I don't need a backup. So we are gonna just pump out a couple of pumps. It's pretty liquidy. It's like this cool purple color, and I just kind of take it all over the face. As I've learned from Elle's videos, Becca actually started out as a complexions brand, and really they were known for their foundation and concealers. I only have one foundation from them, and I used to have a concealer. It had gone off. It was, I think, also the Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer, and this is the Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation. I haven't used this in a really long time. It was lying like this, and it was quite separated. Now that I've shaken it up, it seems to be fine. This is kind of like a serum foundation. It's the one that has the little dropper thing. So I'm just going to take my sponge, gonna drop some foundation on the sponge. We're just gonna do one little thing because I honestly just don't remember.
Oh, of course, I already got some on my sweatpants.
So this isn't fair. I feel like it's a bit yellow for me, at least in this lighting that I'm dealing with at the moment. I mean, you can see, I think. Before actually I continue with the foundation, I should have put my Becca Under Eye Corrector. This is kind of a popular product for them. It's got this peachy pink undertone, and it does cancel out the darkness under the eyes. For me, I also find that when I use this, I have to use very little concealer because this brightens, and then it's just easier to deal with concealer afterwards. So we've got that there. This foundation, I just realized, I think I don't use it because it is a bit yellow. For this foundation, I can't say I'm loving this little pump thing. I don't know, I feel like I'm struggling a little bit with it. Yeah, like you can see when in my neck how much more yellow it is than my chest. Like I feel like I'm gonna really have to blend. So, but it's the only foundation I have from Becca, and I figured we'll give it a go and we'll see. I apologize, my skin because of masks has just been a mess, so you can see all of my dry patches. It's supposed to be Aqua Luminous foundation. I can't say that I feel very hydrated or luminous. Okay, for concealer, since I do not have a Becca concealer, I'm gonna go ahead and use the ones that I've been trying to go through, my Maybelline Fit Me, and then I also have the Marc Jacobs concealer in 00 Stand Corrected. This is in my project pan. So I'm gonna put the Maybelline on my blemishes. Yeah, my skin lately has been struggling a bit, but what you gonna do? And then we're going to use the Marc Jacobs under the eyes. This color is a bit lighter, but also quite yellow. I don't usually really prefer that, but I'm trying to go through some of these products that I have before I start exploring new ones. I also do not have any powders from Becca, so I'm going to go in with my ILIA powder for my under eyes and my Physicians Formula Youth Wear for all over my face. And I'll be right back. All powdered, and now this is where
we are gonna have a siren. This is where we're gonna have a siren and a bunch of racers. That 2 a.m. club, who's been with me since the 2 a.m. club during the pandemic. They're switching up the time a little, but you know, they're still out there at 1:11.
So this is where it's going to get interesting and difficult because I have quite a lot of Becca highlighters and blushes, and we're gonna have to figure out what to use. So first of all, and I am actually kind of leaning towards using one of these. I have 2 palettes. I have the Becca Afterglow Sunset. I used to have the original Afterglow, and I'm kind of still to this day kicking myself for decluttering it or selling it, or I can't remember what I did with it. But this has what I call the Becca heavy hitters in here because it has Champagne Pop, it has the bronzer in Capri Coast, it has the mineral blush in Flower Child, and it has the luminous blush in Snapdragon. I feel like all 4 of these shades, if you've been around and you followed Becca's career, you know those are popular shades. I also have the Après Ski palette from a couple of years ago. This was their holiday collection. This has the rose quartz highlighter. I should do this while we're actually looking at it, shouldn't I? Unfortunately, the sticker is all backwards, so I have to learn how to read upside down. But we have the rose quartz blush, the icicle highlighter, the winterberry blush, and then we have blushed copper blush, opal highlighter, and the bronzer is in Bondi. I've barely used this. I've used a few shades. I've definitely used the blush. I've used the highlighter. Wait, is that a highlighter? What am I talking about? I've used the rose quartz highlighter. I think I kind of showed it to you guys all backwards, did I? I don't remember. I'm so sorry, guys. This is the rose quartz highlighter, the icicle highlighter, and then the winterberry blush. I hope I got that right the first time. Regardless, we have this palette, which by the way, has been making appearances at TJ Maxx at the moment. We have this palette, but then I also have singles. I have, out of highlighters, I have Moonstone, which looks like that. But I also have 2 brand new highlighters that I found at TJ Maxx right before my no-buy in 2020. And I've noticed I have this habit lately of forgetting to say my intro and to introduce myself. I am so sorry. I have no idea what is happening with my brain. I should have done this at the beginning, but if you are new here or returning, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Natalia. I did a no-buy year for 2020. I'm doing a low-buy budget year in 2021, and I'm about conscientious spending.
For the most part, March hasn't been so good.
But usually I'm all about conscientious spending, using products that we already own. So this video actually is right up my alley. So if you are interested in a mix of the old and the new, some project pans, some Shop My Stashes, then I think you will really enjoy it here. I hope that you will continue watching this video, as well as consider sticking around and subscribing and joining our frugal family. Now back to the highlighters. So I have 2 new highlighters that I purchased right before my no-buy year at TJ Maxx. I have Vanilla Quartz and I have Prismatic Amethyst. I'm tempted to use one of those, of course, but at the same time, I really want to use one of the palettes. Let's finish up with all the cheek products that I have. I have another mini of the blush in Camellia. This is the Shimmering Skin Perfector Luminous blush. This is a really, really beautiful pink coral blush. I have Tiger Lily, which is really coral orange, I would say. Very warm toned blush, but stunning on the cheeks. I have Songbird, which is another great one. This is their mineral blush, whereas Tiger Lily is definitely their shimmer luminous blush. So you can see those two and the difference right there. And then last but not least, I have this really, really cool luminous blush in Dahlia. This is not for the faint of heart. This definitely would work fantastic on deeper skin tones. I have to go in very, very lightly, but I do really enjoy it, especially in the winter. I feel like I use my Afterglow more often, so I kind of want to give the Après Ski a little bit of love today. So I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use the bronzer, the blush. This I can't really use as a highlighter for sure. I'm probably gonna mix, I just have to decide whether I wanna mix Opal and Icicle, because Opal usually tends to be a little bit dark on me, or if I want to go a little bit more rosy and do Rose Quartz and or Icicle. Let's start with the bronzer and blush and then we'll decide. For the bronzer, I decided to try this out. This is the BK Beauty 104. I used this brush one other time, but to be honest, I can't quite remember what for. So we're gonna try it for bronzer today. That is definitely quite warm for me, but we'll make it work, especially with this yellow foundation. I do like the brush because it is tapered, so with my bronzer, because especially today I'm not contouring or anything like that, I don't like it to go like all over my face. I still want it to stay a little bit more defined, so I kind of like that this is a bit more precise. Okay, so that is the bronzer. I'm gonna go in with a Sonia Kashuk brush. This is a number 29. I'm gonna go in with the blush that is right above the bronzer. That's nice. So this doesn't say what the formula of the blush is, but it doesn't seem very luminous. So I feel like, oh, and this brush is shedding. I feel like it might be their like mineral formula without the luminous, the shimmer. I like that. What do we think? I think I like that. All right, now for highlight. For highlight, I think I'm going to go in with the mixture of the rose quartz. I decided to do something different. I decided I'm going to go in with a mixture of rose quartz and opal. So that's these two shades right there. Let's see how that works on my skin. We are going to use this Luxie Precision Foundation brush. I'm going to use it for highlighter. Nice, nice. And then we're gonna take what's left, put it on the nose. Not that my nose needs any more spotlighting. All right, I think we're very glowy. So we used 4 of the shades, which is exciting. The bronzer, the blush, and the 2 highlighters. I did not use these 2, can't use it all. Before I show you what I have for the eyes, I'm going to jump off camera, quickly do my brows. As always, I'm trying to use up my It Cosmetics, what is this called? I should know, brow power. And I'm still fighting with my Benefit Gimme Brow and using up whatever I can of it. So my brows are done, or at least my version of my brows, which is still the I don't know what I'm doing version. And now let's get into eyeshadow. So I have 2 options. I have one of their old school palettes. This was their Ombre Rouge eye palette. She's very basic and neutral, but I still think it's a beautiful palette. So this is a contender. Or I also have the Volcano Goddess palette from a few years ago. And that is what that palette looks like. I've definitely used her and I have mixed feelings, but you know, it's definitely has more variety than, let's say, this. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? One of my favorite shades in here is Red Rock, which is this burgundy dark mauve. Let's swatch some of these shimmers and decide together. So there's 2 of them. It's really pretty. This is definitely one of my favorite shades from this palette, and this is also really beautiful. You can see those 2 right there. Then there's also this Agate Ash, which is a really pretty taupe. So I don't know, maybe that one. And then there is these crazy shades. I mean, look at this. Right, isn't that beautiful? And then there's also the lava shade. These do seem to have a little bit of hard pan. I think for me, continuously swatching, they're not the kind that enjoy that. This, of course, is definitely a pop of blue palette, but the blue is a bit, to be honest, underwhelming. It has hard pan. It has a bit of like a purple to it, like it had potential, but you can see like the swatch no longer is even there. All right, I think I'm gonna go with my original plan. I think I'm going to use this shimmer, but now for mattes, I would like to use Ombre Rouge. So again, since I don't have an eyeshadow primer, we're just gonna go with the one in my project pan. We're gonna set with the first shade right there. And then I think I am going to, as always, just speed through. I'm going to gradually build up some color. So I'm going to transition with this, start deepening up with this, and I'll decide whether I want to use both of these or just the deepest one. The shades are all so similar, and I think we'll just blend in nicely, hence the ombre effect, and hence the fact that these are called Ombre Rouge eyeshadow palettes. And then I will use Red Rock all over the lid, and then I will decide whether I want to add anything else. So see you on the other side. right, here's the almost finished look. I went off camera, did some eyeliner and mascara, and all we have left is a lip. So for the lip, I actually ended up having to go into my declutter pile because I just recently filmed a lipstick declutter. I'll go ahead and link that for you guys if you haven't seen it. But I only had one Becca lip product and I did end up decluttering it, but I figured for this video, we'll give it its one final hurrah. This is a Lush Lip Color Balm and it is in Almond Fraise. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. It does have color, but it is still a fairly sheer lipstick. So I'm first gonna line my lips with my Jordana. This is the Easy Liner for Lips. This is in my project pan, as all the products are today that are not from Becca. I usually fill in my lips, but today I decided to just line them, and let's go ahead. The liner is definitely deeper and a bit more mauve, whereas this lip balm is a bit more pink. And it is just a little too balmy for my taste and too pink. So that's why it got decluttered. But since we're doing a Becca homage video and going through everything that I own, I figured why not. Now, I did forget to use, and I did forget to talk about my two, what are these? These are the shimmering, these are the liquid shimmering skin perfectors. I have them in pearl and in opal. I'm sorry, I was going to put this either as a liquid highlighter before I went in with a powder highlighter, or even all over my face as a kind of under foundation glow. It's what I do tend to do with these products. I completely forgot. We've got everything else. So just to quickly run through what we used today, we went in with the First Light Priming Filter, which is a product I do really love and recommend. Also, the Under Eye Corrector is another really popular product for a good reason. And then we did the Aqua, what is it called? Aqua Luminous Foundation? Yes, Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation in Fair, which wasn't quite fair enough for me. It was a bit yellow and a little, just a touch too dark. And then I went ahead and used the Après Ski Palette for all the face products. And then I even used that Icicle highlighter as my inner corner highlight and brow bone. It has a little bit of like a blue purple shift to it, quite pretty. And then for eyeshadows, we went ahead and played with the Volcano Goddess palette. I used this shade all over the lid, and I used these two on my lower lash line. And then for all the mattes and the transition colors, I used the Ombre Rouge palette, and I pretty much used every color. And then everything else, as I said, is from my project pan. So if you're curious about those products, I always have everything that is on my face listed down in the description box. And other than that, I just wanted to show you guys what I have from Becca, play with their makeup a little bit, just have a little bit of fun today. Nothing serious, very lighthearted. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I'd love to hear what are some of your favorite Becca products, and whether you are planning on stocking up on anything, or whether you're like me and are just gonna enjoy what you already have and figure now is the time, in that case, to look forward to new things from, I'm sure, new brands. The world is constantly changing and evolving, and while I'm very sad to see Becca go, there's nothing we can really do about it, I think, at this point. So we just have to enjoy what we have and move forward. I hope that you enjoyed this. One more reminder to please subscribe. I hope that you're well. I hope that you are continuing to stay safe. Take care of yourself and those around you, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye guys.